senior social worker practitioner by profession. I work in the field of child protection for the past 17 years. So I'll be taking this training this morning, and this session will be very interactive. Can we have the next slide, please? So we are talking about our parenting practices, the laws of the land, the impact of our culture, our religion on our parenting. So the focal point will be about safeguarding children. So our cultural values sometimes impact on the way we parent. We have cultural norms. So we have different expectations. Okay. So we have different values system, what we expect our children to do. We have different norms about how we parent our children. So the different expectations in each different household, and culturally as well in the UK, the expectations does conflict sometimes. So where we come from, I'm from Nigeria, sometimes our cultural background conflicts with the Western, how we parent. Like, for example, about respecting elders, we lay emphasis on that when you see a grown-up, you have to greet them, you mustn't look them in the eye, and things like that. So it's different, and it does clashes. You can't talk back to another when they're speaking. But in this country, they have individual children are given the opportunity to voice their opinion, to be able to have dialogue, to be able to have interaction with you. So it's different from my time when I was growing up. So whatever my parents say is what, is embedded in us that we're going to do. Whether you feel it's not, you don't want to do it, but you have to do it. So, well, there's no challenge. So let's go to the next slide, please. So the focus of our discussion, we'll talk about child abuse. For this discussion here today, does anybody know what child abuse is? Because I just don't want to be talking, so I want it to be interactive. Does anybody know what child abuse is? This is metropolitan definition of what child abuse is. So I'll give you the opportunity to have a dialogue. Anyone under the age of 18 being harmed or not properly looked after, that's what Metropolitan Police says about abuse. This is what child abuse is. So are we clear about that? We can move on. Next slide, please. So we're going to have a discussion about the different types of abuse. This next session, please, let's be interactive. About physical abuse. What is physical abuse? What is emotional abuse? Sexual abuse and neglect. So physical abuse is when you deliberately hurt a child. So do we know what physical abuse is as a church?
Sorry.
Yes.
You mentioned that not properly looked after.
Yes.
Could you just
elaborate on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Not properly looked after.
Not properly looked after. Okay. So when a child is not properly looked after, we look at the holistic need of the child. The presentation, maybe they look grubby, they're dirty, their hair unkempt, maybe they're not wearing appropriate clothing, or they're not looking as they should. So there's different markers associated that we look out for, and when we see a child that is looking a certain way, we think their needs are not being met. So, and that raises alarm bells for us as professionals. Teachers, everyone, safeguarding is everybody's business. Everyone in here, safeguarding is all our issue, especially when it comes to children. So we all have to be vigilant, about what safeguarding is. So you don't have to say, because I don't have children, it doesn't concern me. It concerns everybody. Grandparents, you might have done your parenting, you still your issue. If you're seeing a certain parenting style that you can frown upon, that this doesn't sit right with me. So it's just not even physical, emotionally as well. If the child emotionally is not met, maybe they're being exposed to trauma, they're being intimidated, so it's different stuff. So it goes into different facets. So, but when I go through the different types of abuse, then we'll be able to elaborate. So, like physical abuse is when you deliberately hurt a child. causing injury. So if a child do have injury, then it's against the law. Then that's physical abuse. Emotional abuse is when a child's emotional ill treatment of a child and it's persistent. Sometimes this is domestic violence as well, when parents do have arguments. If it's heated and the children are caught up in it, then it's an issue because they're persistently exposing your children to what they should be exposed to, and it could be detrimental to their well-being. Neglect, when you fail to meet your children's holistic needs, all-round needs, maybe health, it could be education, it could be physical basic needs, and it could be their developmental needs. Maybe you're not taking them to the GP on time, maybe you're not attending to their needs on time. We know we're all busy, but our main focus is our children. When we choose to have children, you have to be proactive, and as parents, you need to focus on the holistic needs of the children. So sexual abuse is when your child is engaging, when someone is enticing your children or children, young people into sexual activity, grooming, and child sexual exploitation.